We just watched 2 rounds of March Madness, and I'm convinced half these teams are completely fake. We got buzzer beaters. We had guys throwing punches and somehow staying in the game. Once again, we have no mid-majors left in the Sweet 16, and somehow we're supposed to believe this is one of the best tournaments we've ever seen. And now we're heading to the Sweet 16 where I don't know if I can trust anybody. So today, we're not doing a recap. We're talking about what actually mattered, who's real, who's fake, and who's going to blow your bracket up next. Let's get into it.
We got to start out with the Florida versus Iowa, the buzzer beater, and then the controversy that's ensued. Alvaro Elfisto.
Let you read that one.
Fulgaris.
Fulgaris.
For you non-Big Ten people, Fulgaris. But trust me, I got to know him real well.
True.
That was an absolutely
didn't take
fantastic
shots at
game.
anybody on our team.
I mean, that game was just so much fun to watch. The little bit of it I watched because most of it was going on while the Tennessee game was going on, and I wasn't going to not watch the Tennessee game to watch what I assumed was Florida going to roll. That didn't happen. So I'm catching up late to a lot of the stuff. But the punch, apparently whatever his name was, threw a punch at Condon and didn't get tossed because the ref's explanation was he didn't make contact. So, and I mean, if you go back and watch the replay, he was trying to punch. Like he failed, but he was absolutely trying to punch him. There was no basketball play to it. I don't understand how he was in the game to hit the game winner.
I 100%, I don't disagree. He was absolutely trying to take a shot. Doesn't change the fact that after the whistle blowed, Condon basically hip tossed him onto the ground. I mean, it was physical on both sides. So let's not pretend like Florida is an innocent party in all this, because I was listening to Golden talk about how he should not be in the game and how he was tossed because he was stronger than him. The whistle was blown. So let's go ahead and stop right there with that nonsense. It should have been a double technical. At the end of the day, the refs made a decision based on the physicality of what was going on at the time. I think if he would have actually struck him, or they would have had some kind of evidence of him hitting him, yeah, I think it would have been an easy decision. But because of what had happened before, you can't make that call, because then you have to be like, the whistle was blown. Why is this dude tossing him to the ground, right? Because that's physical in itself as well. And it was unnecessary, completely unnecessary. But, devil's advocate here, I supported the decision to leave him in the game. Obviously, I'm pro Big Ten here. I don't want Florida to win another national title. I think Fulgaris was in the right place at the right time. And I also think ultimately Todd Golden got out coached, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But the person that hits the shot is just so happens to be the one that was allowed to stay in the game. Doesn't change the fact that Florida lost to an Iowa team when their best player, their best shooter, went 0 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things like that, because my whole issue with the punch is a couple years ago with Duke and Virginia Tech, very tight game at Virginia Tech. I forget who the player was at Virginia Tech. Hits a near buzzer beater game winner, turns around to celebrate and throws the punch up like that. Happens to connect with Filipowski right in the throat, enough to where Filipowski's thrown up. They don't call anything because they say it was incidental. But then Fulgaris here doesn't get tossed when he immediately threw a punch, whether it was thrown to the ground or not. He throws a punch and like the inconsistent of the rule. How is there any room for interpretation in that rule of throwing a punch? Like, it should be, you throw a punch, see you later. Like, there shouldn't be whether you connect or not. If you're judging intent, there was clear malice in that intent. And if I'm Golden, I'm yelling all sorts of obscenities because that's the guy who hit the three. Even though he says he was trying to foul. Why? And why are you pressing full court so your guy gets beat, and then you put whoever was guarding Fulgaris, I'm not sure who it was, in an unwinnable position where he's either got to choose to guard Sturtz or leave Fulgaris open in the corner, and it's the easiest decision in the world to make. You're there, so I pass it. Oh, you don't come guard me, I shoot it. Like,
yeah,
it was absolutely poor coaching at the end, and that's not the reason Florida lost. Florida lost because they were outcoached, got outplayed,
hustled.
The same thing that happened all year with the guard play. The guards really let them down. Just almost as many turnovers as they had assists. I mean, Xavier Lee scored, but I mean, Boogie Fan was useless. Urban was useless. Nothing off the bench. It was poor. It was a poor game plan by Golden, and that's probably about the only time I will ever really be able to say that he was just flat out coached out everything in that game.
And the way the defense was set up, Jake, to your point, it was a pick your poison. Do you want to stop Sturtz or do you want to sell out on Fulgaris? And I think any coach in America is going to be like, well, Sturts has got the ball. Sturts is 0 for 9. He's probably due. But I think, give Ben McCollum credit, because I don't really like Ben McCollum, especially after some of the stuff he said post Purdue games and stuff like that. But I mean, he put on a clinic here. He did a great job.
All that dude does is win. He just wins everywhere he goes. It's
yeah. And for an Iowa team that struggled at the end of the year and kind of like came in limping a bit, to see them get into the next weekend is pretty special, especially with the Big Ten putting in 6 teams. Nobody thought that Iowa was going to be one of those teams in there, and here they are.
I mean, Big Ten is flexing here with 6 of almost half the field and guaranteed at least 1, maybe 2 in the Elite Eight.
Just the only guarantee is 1.
Guaranteed 1. Okay, because Michigan State and Illinois play each other, right?
No, it's Michigan State plays St. John's.
No, Duke plays St. John's.
No, Michigan State plays.
If only there was a site that took care of this.
UConn.
Illinois plays Houston.
Nebraska plays Iowa. Michigan State plays UConn.
Yep.
That's it.
Nebraska and Iowa. So we're only guaranteed 1 Big Ten in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Fun times. Not a great time to be an SEC fan. That was piss poor performance.
It almost felt like I had it on multi-view, and it almost felt like Florida just expected themselves to win. Like it was just going to pan out, and it never did.
That's starting to be an epidemic here. Duke did that in the first game of Siena. It's clear Florida did that. There's a couple other ones like that just either lost or like Wisconsin looked like they overlooked High Point a bit, and UConn and Furman. We've got a bunch of teams that are getting too big for the britches and almost dropped. Some dropped and almost dropping games that they shouldn't.
Let's see, and then no mid majors in the Sweet 16 for the second straight year. This poses an interesting question, and I actually heard a segment on local radio talking about this, and I find it very interesting. I'm curious to see what you all think. Is the Cinderella dead?
Well, yeah. So your Cinderellas this year are 11 seed Texas and 9 seed Iowa from the SEC and the Big Ten. Both historically have had good basketball teams. So I'm not going to say the Cinderella is completely dead. I think the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer here. Some of these teams are like fielding these guys that, can come out and jack up, 50, 60 threes in a weekend and might will their team to a win or two. But it's just analytically, it's just not mathing out anymore. The best mid-major guys are going to big programs, and mid-majors are basically clawing and scrapping to get what they can. And then they're winning a conference or a conference tournament that is filled with other teams that are scrapping guys through. And sure, they can win round 1, but round 2 is becoming increasingly more difficult. And then round 3 is borderline impossible with the way some of these rosters are built and some of the money that these programs have to build these rosters. And, the mid-major is certainly dying out as a Cinderella, kind of hopeful for March Madness. But it's kind of the same with senior classes. I don't think you're going to see teams fielding 2 or 3 seniors anymore. I don't think you're going to see teams with like homegrown players and things like that. So yeah, it's just a weird time for basketball, and a lot of people are kind of bummed about it. But for me, from a tournament aspect, is I feel like you got 14 of the best teams in the country left in this tournament. And that's fantastic, because some years it was 12 of the best teams and 6 or 4 plucky teams, and then 6 of the best teams and 2 plucky teams, and then 3 of the best teams and 1 plucky team. Now I want the best teams. I want this to continue. This is like, it's fun. High Point beating Wisconsin's fun, but Arkansas versus Arizona is a lot more fun than High Point versus Arizona. Like Miami with Jay Lucas, right? Because I called it. I thought Miami was going to have a great team, and I thought Jake Lucas, and I'm not saying that they're a Cinderella at all. Purdue advancing is more fun for me, obviously, as a Purdue fan. Same thing, VCU beating North Carolina. That's fun, but VCU is not gonna win that next game. That's just the way college basketball is. That's the landscape we live in now.
Yeah, I think the mid-major Cinderella is dead. I think you're going to get different versions of it, because one, with the transfer portal and NIL mixed together, you've got full staffs at these big time programs that are catching the studs at the mid-major level before they show the flash, before Curry can carry his team to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 or whatever. He's gonna end up on a big big boy roster, or Max Abmas is going to be at Texas 2 years before he was there to begin with, or different things like that. Like they're getting found earlier and then getting to the bigger programs a year or two before now, and so you're not getting, because the key to those mid-major Cinderellas most of the time was you had a superstar stud that had been there for 3 or 4 years, filled with a bunch of older, like 25-year-old guys that knew what they were doing and been in the system and were able to, like St. Bonaventure a couple years ago. I think all those guys were like 6-year seniors, and they had 6 of them that they were rotating, and like it was just a very fluid machine. And you just don't have that because those guys are getting money to go be at the bigger programs and play a support role off the bench at whatever school that is. I mean, there like Duke, the guy, I can't think of his name. He's not getting any minutes, but he got paid to leave whatever mid-major he was leaving, and now he just sits the bench, like Cameron Sanders or something like that. There's all sorts of guys. Amari Abram is a great example from Tennessee. Like, my man can't buy minutes on the floor, but he got a nice little paycheck to come to Tennessee and leave Louisiana Tech, where now he's getting to play in the Sweet 16, where he probably wouldn't have even made the tournament. So I think that's where the mid-major Cinderella is dead. And the only way I see to fix it is to get rid of the one and done and kind of go the baseball route. Cooper Flagg goes to the NBA, and Connor Nipple can go straight to the NBA. Isaiah Evans and Caleb Foster and those guys are at Duke for 3 years. Got to be 21 or whatever before you leave, because then that's going to make like the bigger schools rosters fuller, and then you get maybe some of those guys hang around a mid-major or whatever, and you can kind of get that back. But that's the only route I see to getting that fixed without donors coming out of the woodwork and giving, like, I don't know, name your favorite mid-major and $1 billion to figure. Because I mean, Belmont's 2 best players are already in the portal, like, and I mean they were a very good team this year, but they're already out there. Like, there's nothing anybody at Belmont can do, because those guys are going to go to a top tier program and make a good amount of money. I mean, think about that Belmont team. Got absolutely. You're looking at a team that had at one time had Gillespie, the shooter from Minnesota that was at North Carolina, and then the 2 guys they had this year that absolutely tore apart the MVC. Like, that's a lineup that could have won two or 3 games in the NCAA tournament that just doesn't exist anymore because they get picked apart.
Right. Or their coach takes a big boy job and takes the best players with him.
Which he did. He went to Kansas State.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It's a little sad because, like, I'm with you, Zane. Like, forever, the best tournament you get is chaos in the first round, and then after that, get your best teams moving forward. And because you want better basketball in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 and Final Four and all that. You don't want St. Peter's in the Elite 8, but you want St. Peter's to win that first game. That's fun. But you don't want them to win anymore after that.
And I think deep down, everybody kind of feels that way. But the Good Morning America crowd really wants the Cinderella. Like, that's the people it impacts the most.
That's your casuals. That's your casuals that just want and cheer for that. And they haven't watched it all year, and then they want to watch it in March and go, "Oh, why isn't the little guy winning?"
Yeah, I can't believe High Point didn't beat Arkansas. It's a hell of a game.
Hey, they were close.
Yeah,
they were close.
Hell of a game, but
what's funny is the call High Point underdog and or whatever. That school has like ice cream trucks and like steakhouses and fake planes for their students to like practice how to interact with executives on a plane. If that's a normal
college. They call it the best.
Like, hold on,
the best skills university in the country.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah, they're there.
It's so I've been seeing those posts, and it's wild.
I mean, I would have killed that when I was at Tennessee Tech for an ice cream truck just to be roaming around with free ice cream. That would have been. I would have loved it. Also, would have been 900 pounds, but
I was about to say you couldn't stop me. I would be ruthless between Natty Light and vanilla. I mean, that would be rough.
Oh, could you imagine a Natty Light float? Ooh.
Buddy.
Unsubscribe.
Man, listen, there are a few blowouts, and we can't go and miss those. And, between Kentucky, UCLA, and Texas Tech, which loss is most concerning long term? I think this is a fantastic question. Well, I think there's really only one answer.
What does long term mean anymore in college basketball? Like, 1, they're done, and then 2, like, we ain't gonna see 90% of these guys in the same uniform again.
Yeah,
I think if we're talking about who's the most concerning, it's Kentucky because
Correct.
I mean Kentucky came out like a sprinter out of a shotgun start and forgot that it was a marathon. And Jet, like I texted you guys both. I'm like, here comes Iowa State when they were down 12, and I was like, here they come, and then there they went.
Yeah.
And Kentucky stayed put. And like, look, Mark Pope's in year 2. He does not have a patient fan base. He is not built like a Tennessee fan. He is not built like a Purdue fan, where we get to be frustrated every year with the same results or moderately better results, and then have to wait till next year to see what we put together and what we can do. It's Kentucky. They expect to win, and they expect to win now, and Mark Pope's not doing that. So I think the concern is there. I mean, Texas Tech, you're missing.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. Was UCLA and Texas Tech can go, hey, look who didn't get to play.
Yeah,
right. Like you had Toppin and Lindo, or whatever his name is from UCLA, their leading scorer. You're like, hey,
Bilodeau.
Yeah, like build them. No, we don't have our leading scorer. We don't have our best player. This was bound to happen at some point. It was a little bit surprising that Texas Tech did as well as they did in the first game, but then they just did not have it in the second one. It was just blatantly obvious. But yeah, Kentucky's the answer here because one, you paid an obscene amount of money for this roster. So what's your excuse? Like Pope had the excuse of, oh, well, I didn't totally get all the guys. I didn't get a full recruiting cycle and blah, blah, blah last year. Even though they lost in the Sweet 16. And like a lot of Kentucky fans were seeing that as a success. This has to be an objective big failure as a season. Just put that kind of money out there and to get this result where, I mean, like all year, it was not great. There was like very streaky team. You spent the kind of money you did to bring in this monster roster. You went after a hurt Jaden Quinton and knowing like that it was likely that you weren't going to get much out of him, and you didn't. I think he scored 20 total points on the year. Like nothing about this was right. And I mean, I'm like, I think UCLA too is it's a little bit concerning. Like, I think if you're tiering these, it's Kentucky by a huge margin, then like UCLA. Like, what happened in between the two games? You looked like very good in the Big Ten tournament and the last few games. The first game you looked good, and then you were solved that easy by a struggling UConn team. Like, it's not like UConn played out of their mind.
No.
Two things happened in that game. Is UConn got a little hot. UCLA went cold, and then Bilodeau was out for UCLA. Like, again, some bias here. I watched Bilodeau completely shred Purdue. I've seen the dude live twice. He is a great ball player, and not having him is a huge impact. And couldn't do anything right. I think he had 10 assists.
He had 11 and 10.
Yeah, but 2 for 9 from the floor. I mean, it was just kind of a ho-hum UCLA effort. And Caravan went full Caravan, which is nice to see from this UConn team because they need somebody to do something. Mullins had a pretty decent game, but we probably got some Mullins questions just about like what the plans for him are. But Caravan really, like, I'm just going to lump a whole bunch of guys into this. Caravan, you're like your Braden Smiths, your Fletcher Lawyers, TKRs, regardless of how, Braden Smith did. You got these senior guys that have been with the program for 4 years. They're playing like it's going to be their last game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of March Madness. That's the beauty of college basketball. It's one of the things that I've loved about it for so long is that these guys like are playing like it might be the last time they ever play. We're losing that now, right? Especially with guys that have grown up in a program. But I'm going to credit this win to Alex Caravan for UConn because he really, really willed this team to beat UCLA. And granted, UCLA is shorthanded. They didn't have their best stuff, but it's also a credit to a guy that's, been to, 2 national championships and has got a legit shot to get there again if they can clean up all this mess that they've had for the last 2 months.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a little bit concerning with UCLA. Like you took a struggling team and got waxed by them. Like, and not like, I mean, UConn struggling is not the same as any other team struggling. They're struggling for UConn standards. They're still a very good team. But and then this kind of offbeat question though, but if you're Braylon Mullins, are you coming back next year or are you going NBA?
You're absolutely coming. You're coming back to college.
That's what I mean. Like you're playing. You're
Another year of college. You are not. I speak to his uncle pretty regularly. He is convinced that he's going to come back for a second year. I think this kid could hit the portal and make a really, really good dime. I'm not sure what his thoughts are on staying with UConn. I don't know what the loyalty package is there compared to the open market, but it's a kid who can get a lot of opportunities with the ball in his hands and not get buried into a corner. That's the one frustrating thing I've seen about UConn and the way they play. They just stick him in the corner and just have him wait. I've watched this kid in high school. The ball in his hands is where it needs to be for him to be successful, and he needs a program that's kind of designed for him to do that. You can't just put baby in the corner and expect, miracles to happen. You're going to have cold nights, right? But if you're getting 7 looks, that's not going to do it for a kid like him. If he wants to go to the NBA and wants to be a legit lottery pick, I think he needs to go somewhere where they put the ball in his hands.
Yeah, because like I was looking at it, like he's done, like not knocking his performance or anything, but the stats aren't screaming, especially with this draft class. Like you're looking at what was widely considered the draft class on the par with 2003 with LeBron and Carmelo, and he's shooting 33% from deep, 43 from the floor, 12 points, which are all fine. Like it's all good. It's just not like, I think maybe if this was last year he goes, or if this is next year he goes, but this year, like I don't know that he's going to be in the lottery. He might do better staying home, staying at UConn or going to a place like Tennessee where we know how to take care of a shooter. We've got a long history of it, and it was pinning teams around the shooter. So that just a suggestion put out there. But yeah, like I would think he should come back, but then again, it's you just put off that second NBA contract by a year and risk the injury and stuff. So I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of decisions that I've never had to make, especially I didn't have to make him as a 19-year-old kid. So more power to him.
He's a 6-figure freshman looking to make 7 figures next year, regardless if he stays in college or goes to the NBA. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah. I will go streaking if Braylon Mullins becomes a Vol. That would be incredible.
You heard it here first. Brad will run naked through the streets of Knoxville.
That's right. Yep. Hide everyone. And do we think that there's any risk that Pope is going to be fired? I don't think he's going to be fired.
Not yet.
Not yet. I think that seat's getting real warm and real itchy.
I think it's hot. And I'd say that this offseason is going to be awkward for everyone. Like I just imagine that he's going to go to all these, all these events and have to give all this coach speak and have to answer to this. I think he's going to have to politic a little bit.
He's going to have to go and hey, I know you gave me $20 million, but now I need 25. So I can see the second weekend. Like that's going to be tough. That's a tough ask.
Yeah. And here's my thing with Kentucky, because every time I bring this up, I feel like Purdue just shits the bed. They won a preseason game and they thought they were world beaters, and we all saw the flaws in the team, and we all saw that we all had the question marks. I don't know if this is a situation a new coach can fix. I think Kentucky is finally on par with all the other teams in the country as far as how they can recruit and how they can pay. And I'm not saying that they were illegally paying players before NIL was a real thing, but wink, wink. I think they might have been getting away with something. I mean, it's not like their previous coach didn't have multiple wins and Final Fours vacated. So it's just the reality of what Kentucky basketball has been. And I think the game has caught up to them a little bit. I think they're still a program that people want to go to, and they have a shit ton of money to spend because they got boosters out the ears. However, the playing field is starting to level out for them. And I don't know if the fans or the coaching staff or the ADs know how to react to this, because they're not used to being on level ground. They're used to having that little bit of edge, kind of like a Duke, kind of like a North Carolina. They don't have it anymore. Yeah. And I think they're going to claw like hell to get it. I just don't know if they can in this climate.
Like to me, like we had this discussion earlier in the year. They're on thin ice with their blue blood status. Yeah, like they haven't been close in a minute. I know they were in the Sweet 16 last year, but I don't know that's kind of crumbling on them a little bit. And I think it also shows some misconceptions about this fan base that thought guys like Anthony Davis and John Wall and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander were loyal to Kentucky and not Cal. Because I mean, that Tyrese Halliburton tweet really, really drove that point home. Incredible by him. Like, I loved it.
So
It
good.
made me giggle. If you haven't seen it, it said something along the lines, I went to go text these Kentucky guys about the game and then figured out they're all Arkansas alum now.
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic tweet. Like, it's incredible because everybody knows it's true, except for what felt like most of the Kentucky fan base. Because those guys aren't going to walk into that door to help you anymore. Like, they're not going to come back and go, oh, let me help you recruit this player or whatever. They're loyal to the coach. And like we saw that with like Kevin Durant's helped out Barnes several times, like at Texas and at Tennessee, getting those guys in. Like, they're going to help Cal and Arkansas. They don't have any draw to Kentucky, and that's why this blowout loss in the second round is not great. And I mean, you won the first one handily. I'm happy for you, but showed a lot of flaws here.
Yep.
Well, how flawless has this tournament been, or how flawed has it been? How good is it really? I feel like it's been a pretty solid tournament, but has it really been the highest rating since 2011?
Stats is going around right now, and I think other than a lull in the first day, where like the end of the first few games and the start of the next round of games, it's really there's been at least one, if not two, fantastic games to watch going on at all the time slots. It's like you haven't had as many crazy upsets. You did get High Point, but I mean that Nebraska Vandy game was one of the best round of 32 games I've ever seen in my life, and the atmosphere that the Nebraska fans brought is just incredible. I hope they bring the same to Houston because I think that's where they're at. Because that'll be just fantastic. But that made that game, and then it ends on that shot that I think 0.5% of that ball was through the rim that bounced out. Like if that shot goes down, you're looking at that shot being replayed for the next 50 years. Like when we're talking about March Madness, because that was just like just the end of that game being replayed. Like if I have to watch that North Carolina Villanova thing one more time, I'm going to set somebody on fire because I'm just tired of seeing it. Please quit showing it. But like it would be shown like that because I mean that game was it was around a 32 game, but good gosh, that was a fantastic game. And then you had overtime with like North Carolina, VCU coming back from 19 down to win that. There's just Siena taking Duke to the wire. Like it's just you may not have had the upsets that you're going to be able to talk about, but this has been just fantastic basketball watching. It's been amazing.
Yet to Jake's point, there have been times where I haven't wanted to watch because I'm just like, eventually you just like, man, I just so much college basketball. I mean, like the game before was so exhausting because it was fantastic and it went well. And then here comes another great game. It's exactly how I felt yesterday. I felt Saturday was kind of like blowout after blowout. But then, Saturday night, to Jake's point, Nebraska Vandy was just epic. Like probably my favorite game I've watched all year. And then you start off with Purdue, Miami, and Miami hung tough. And it was back and forth. You had streaky moments from Miami, you had streaky moments from Purdue. And Purdue created some separation a little bit late. They got tied again, but then got some free throws and yada, yada, yada. But then you follow that up with the Tennessee Virginia game, which was fantastic. Just an absolutely fantastic game. And while that's going on, you have Iowa, Florida. Florida gets decided on the last second bucket. St. John's, Kansas, like layup to win the game. No time left. I mean, I'm still like, my heart took 12 full hours to like fully settle down after all the basketball, like from the Nebraska Vandy game through Florida, Iowa. It was just a heart attack. And that's the kind of basketball people love. And it wasn't like a mid-major stringing together like 88 threes to like hang tough against like a Duke or Florida or something like that. It was just good basketball. Good.
Shot for shot.
It was just like haymaker, jab, right hook, left cross, uppercut. Like it was just punch after punch after punch, and like nobody was falling down. And if they did fall down, they got right back up, and it was just fantastic. And it just gets your blood pumping. And to me, that's why you tune in. That's why like I was fighting an allergy attack yesterday. I was like struggling on my deathbed. Like I wanted to go to bed so bad. I took a Benadryl. I couldn't turn off the Tennessee game because it was great. And I was texting you guys like I was an actual Tennessee fan. And I'm not. But I'm not. But then like I was like, okay, time to go to bed. But then Iowa, Florida is like it's a 3-point game. I got to tune back in. So, 10 o'clock rolls around and I'm like in the first half of UConn and UCLA. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore, guys. But it was fantastic. It's why you don't turn it off. That's why it's March Madness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the second half of Saturday on, minus the Illinois game, but that was great for a different reason. We hadn't really seen the offense play like that. But you had Texas upsetting Gonzaga. The Michigan State Louisville game was a good game through and through. And then, of course, Vandy, Nebraska, but High Point in Arkansas was a fantastic way to end the night, too. You had the little side stories with Cameron Fletcher being like he was recruited by Cal, played at Kentucky his first year, and then his travels through Florida State to High Point. ACUF, once again, puts on a fantastic show. Anytime Arkansas plays, it's worth watching just because you don't know what he's going to do. But this has been one of the more fun tournaments to watch because every game at least starts off. Even Arizona, Utah State was a fun one. Like I didn't expect that one to be fun. The only one that wasn't fun from start to go on Sunday was Alabama. Texas Tech just did not have it. But besides that, Sunday was just a perfect day of basketball. I mean, the second half of UCLA got loose, but it was a 5-point game at half. It's not like that game started out of control from the tip and then kept going. This has been like I can't remember me having more fun watching just basketball in general from like the second round, or the first and second round in a while.
I think between Purdue, Miami, and Tennessee, Virginia, we didn't send each other one positive text.
No. Nope.
I think we were on all on defibrillators. Like we were just like on the verge of dying.
Yeah. Well, while Sam's blood was pumping, mine was boiling at some of the officiating. It's been missed goaltends, missed travels, shot clock issues. I mean, that's been something that's been very evident throughout the tournament that it's just been piss poor.
It really has. I mean, how on earth in the first game of the day and the first possession after tip did we get a 20-second shot clock and nobody go, hey, maybe that's not a shot clock violation in 20 seconds. Like, I don't know. Like you could, it's not like you had to do funky math. You had to count 20 seconds from 20 minutes ago. Wait, that's not 1930. That's 1940. Why are we giving a shot clock violation here? And like that's unacceptable. The goaltends are like, they've got to update that challenge rule because it can't just be if it's called. Because it's got to start.
The letter of the law. Go ahead. No, the letter of the law shot clock violation, unfortunately, was accurately applied. They broke down what the rule is, and because it was in a possession in the half court, it is 20 seconds. You don't get to just have 30 seconds.
You get 30 seconds the first time you get the ball. Yes, you get 20 seconds,
but it's
after a rebound.
And the half in and the
but
out of
it was
bounds
the first possession of the game.
The letter of the law.
No.
I'm just saying, based on the letter of the law in the rule books, that's what it states.
No, you're wrong.
I believe that was accurately applied. Now, I think it should have been explained to both the officials and the teams because I don't think anybody was aware. But it's also your responsibility to look up at the clock, right? So I think that's part of it. To your point, Jake, the goaltends has to be a reviewable thing. It's happening so frequently. It's got to change. So many instances of like obvious goaltends or things that are called goaltend where it's not quite right. And like I'll tell you, Purdue did this in the Big Ten championship. Braden Smith shot a layup under the basket. The ball was under the basket and hit the backboard when it got blocked. It had zero shot of going in, and Andy Mara blocked it, but it hit the backboard first, right? So, like, there's got to be things that you can review. I mean, I think that's one of the ones that the officials can take back.
Because I mean, with the missed one, like Malik Brown had one, he wiped off the square in the Siena game. Like the ball hit the middle of the square. How do you miss it? And then he just wipes it off, and that turns into a key play. Like, there's so many of these that are just like that rule's got to change where you can review it. Start treating it like the 3-point line rule. Like, hey, let's mark it and then keep playing, and then go back. They can wipe 2 points off the board or add 2 points. Like that's the easiest way to fix this.
I think you 100% hit the nail on the head. Mark it.
But the travel thing is that's just
Out of
refs not
hand.
paying attention. Like, I understand the 3-man thing where he's looking this way, he's looking this way, and the guy's looking this way. Cool. But how is nobody looking at the ball handler's team? Like, when he's getting trapped. We're too worried about somebody catching an elbow to the face and the softest basketball ever that we're not looking at the feet as he switches pivot foot 7 times. Or on a fast break, we're too worried about getting back down the floor for some crazy thing.
I texted you guys yesterday afternoon after a bad possession by Purdue, and Trey Donaldson got the ball across half court, and I was like, wow, that's the most obvious travel I've seen. And they didn't call it. And I was bitching. My wife was sitting next to me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. It's like, of course I'm not okay. But then moments later, Oscar Clough committed one of the most obvious travels I've ever seen for a reverse layup. And I'm like, I'm just going to shut my mouth about travels. Because I'm 98% sure Brayton Smith's record-breaking assist came off of a TKR travel.
Well, I mean,
it's like
there's one of the, I forget who it was in the Tennessee game where it might have been to Boswell or something, where he threw it up the court and it looked like he took 4 steps before, like on his gather, before he laid it in. I was like, thank God they missed that, but I don't know how you miss it when he's by himself on a fast break. Like, what are you looking at? Like, that's what I don't understand. Is like, where are these refs' eyes that we're not, like, I'm not saying underneath the bucket with 4 guys around, they should be nailing every travel there. No. When a guy is by himself on a fast break, there's no reason to not see it. That's where you're supposed to be looking. It's just, and then like in the Florida game, the punch thing, we already went through that. But Chinulu also was just clearing guys out. He was running full speed from half court and just forearm into the back and just launching dudes into the crowd. And they were just like, I guess that guy just jumps weird. Like, I don't know what the explanation for missing it. It's just, to me, the officiating has been horrific. I think we're stuck with it because God forbid you say a bad word about an official. Otherwise, you're getting like a $15,000 fine and maybe sitting out a game, depending on how hurt feelings the referees had.
Or if you're Mick Cronin, you get teed up for clapping at a ref.
Yeah. And then you've got some guys that are so glued to the letter of the law. Nagumba in the Duke game, I forget the Kansas State player that it happened to. Fakes guy goes over and he's clearly about to land on his head and grabs the next thing closest to him, which happened to be Nagumba's like head and neck area. And so he doesn't break his neck on his fall. And they're like, yeah, that's an F1 now because you made contact above the shoulders. It's like, come on, use some common sense when you review this stuff. Like,
yeah,
you know, you got to look and go, oh, dude was just reacting to not wanting to put his face on the floor. Like, I don't know. And then the common sense thing, the dude threw a punch. How do you not toss him? Because if he connects him, you're tossing him. So it's like the result matters more than the intent. But then we go back and we don't give the intent rule to that guy trying to save a broken neck. Like, it's crazy.
No, they didn't toss Fulgaris because they like Back to the Future and his shot.
Yeah,
and we're like,
somebody had some money riding.
Yeah, we gotta keep this guy in, according to this book here.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But other than that, it's been an amazing tournament to watch.
No doubt. And there's been some shakeups in the coaching world. There's been DEPA coaching carousel.
What's Randy Bennett going to do now that he doesn't get to play Gonzaga every year to keep his job? Now that he's taking,
I knew that was going to be the first. Yeah.
What are we going to do? He's going to have to get used to a whole new KPI system.
Yeah, he's going to be held to actual standards.
I'm going to be interested to see how good of a coach he is. I think he is. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he's definitely hidden out there underneath in the shadow of Gonzaga, above every other poor school that's in that conference. Props to him for doing it and did it for a while. I think he's a good coach, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
We'll see real quick because I mean, Arizona's not coming down. Kansas isn't coming down. Houston, like, you went to the Wolves den. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, and I don't know why I never put this together, but I knew I just connected the dots of who Jerry McNamara was. I remember him now.
Oh yeah,
playing at Syracuse. Like, he had to wear the super long shorts. I felt like they were extra long.
Made him look 4'2".
Yeah. Yes. I was like, I did not realize that was the same person. I don't know. This didn't click with me.
The reason we got 9 overtimes in that one Syracuse Georgetown game. But this is an interesting question. If you're a star player like that or a very meaningful player to a program like that, do you go back to your alma mater to coach? seeing how it's gone for some of these guys, like Pope and Hubert Davis and what's his face from Louisville, like Kenny Payne. Do you risk that? Because I mean, right now he's a Syracuse god legend. Right now, do you risk that?
I mean,
There's something nostalgic, I guess. There's something special about going back into place that you've got some skin in the game, but that definitely comes at a risk.
I don't think I'd do it. I think I coach anywhere else but there.
who like outside of Matt Painter is it worked out for? Patrick Ewing, nah.
No.
Payne.
John Shire going well.
Hours, as I call him preseason.
Yeah. John
no.
Shire's going well.
Juwan Howard, no. Huh?
John Shire's going well.
John Shire's going
For
pretty
Shire,
well.
yeah, Shire. Shire's actually going better than Painter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pope
It's hard to
is
find
struggling.
where it's worked out, like how it's worked out.
It doesn't statistically. It doesn't feel like it's a good decision. So we were able to name two right off the bat. Maybe comments. Watch our podcast, folks, and comment on us and break us through the coals because we came up with Painter and Shire. Somebody help us out here.
And then there's some fun hires too out there. I think I called it in the beginning. I said Brian Hodgson's going to just take whatever the first job, the power job that comes open. He's not going to wait. And he was, I think he was the first one signed with Providence. Calhoun, that from Utah State, I definitely thought he was going to. That was going to be a dark horse candidate for the North Carolina job. But he, not that the Cincy job is bad, but he's catching a lot of love, and so I was a little bit shocked he jumped on the Cincinnati job so fast. And then, I mean, the big news of the day really is Greg McDermott doing his swan song and already naming his next coach. Kind of, he followed the Coach K path. Alan Huss has taken over, but McDermott's last year. It's just sad to see because that, like, I don't know if Creighton's going to be any good next year, but they weren't good this year, and I want him to go out on top. I don't know if he'll win at all, but I want that Creighton team to be good because he's such a great offensive mind that.
Oh yeah,
that it's sad to see him go.
Yeah,
and Westmore's getting a second chance.
I think Charlotte landed something special here because since he was playing great at the end of the year, I think there was some other issues going on, not like locker room issues, just other stuff going on there that got in the way for a bit. And I think Charlotte is going to do wonders for Wes Miller. And maybe North Carolina's letting him rehab a year or two and then bringing him up if he saves his job.
All right. Well, let's get into the Sweet 16. Gosh, this is exciting. All right. So let's tip things off with Texas versus Purdue.
I was going to say, like, the only thing I have to say off this is, one, Purdue's hot as lava right now. They're just hitting everything. But I think this, of the two teams they had the option of playing with Gonzaga and Texas, this is the team they didn't want to see because Texas shoots the ball a lot right now. I think they would have much rather seen Gonzaga, who plays their big guy, than the guard-heavy Texas.
Yeah. My biggest worry here is we got another double-digit seed, and that seems to be our Achilles heel, especially in March. On paper, Purdue wins this game like 99 times out of 100. Physically, though, Texas got some athletes, and athletes tend to give Purdue fits. I will say that, what is it? I think somebody did after Valentine's Day, Fletcher Lawyer is 42 for 81 from three. KR is averaging nearly 20 points a game and nearly 10 rebounds. Braden Smith is averaging like close to 16 points and 9 assists or something like that during that span. So the big three are big three. And hell, I was furious after the Ohio State game, not like a month ago, talking about how there was no effort, no connectivity, and the locker room seemed to be dysfunctional. And nothing was clicking. Ever since the Big Ten tournament started, this Purdue team has been an absolute, like, fantastic basketball team. Perhaps one of the top 5 teams in the country since the Big Ten tournament started. They need to keep this going. This cannot be a slip-up opportunity for Purdue. They should win this game. But shoulds with Purdue have not often panned out the way everybody thinks they do. So very curious to see what Braden Smith shows up. Very curious to see what TKR shows up. And definitely interested to see what Fletcher Lawyer shows up. And I'm also hoping that CJ Cox is healthy. This Purdue offense is firing on all cylinders. And I don't think Texas has the manpower to keep up with it. However, they've got players. Obviously, Cam Heide, former Purdue guy. Bocalitis has been just a beast, just an absolute beast. Swain has just been fantastic. So I think if Texas gets hot and Purdue cannot figure out the perimeter defense and they can't stop the drive, Texas has an opportunity here. But if Purdue comes out like they have for the last 6 straight games, this should be a Purdue win.
Yeah, the biggest change in Texas is one, Volkaitis has been able to stay on the floor, staying out of foul trouble, and Pope coming on. Mark's hit some big shots all year. Swain has been very consistent. Pope's threes going in, that is absolutely opened up the world for Texas. But then, and I think that's the biggest disadvantage to them because you're not getting much off the bench, and there is no replacement for Volkaitis. There's not even a half replacement for him. That's how Tennessee took care of him, and they got him in foul trouble. He didn't get to see the floor, and we won by 20 plus. So that's Purdue's biggest route to success is. And they've got the advantage of it. They go right at him with Clough or Jacobson or TKR, whoever. Well, I'm just saying a big guy into his chest. That's all you got to do. And he will try to. He wants to be a shot blocker so bad, and he's good at it, but he's not great at it if you're going right through his chest. And I think that's Purdue's avenue to success. Get him off the floor, and then there's nothing stopping TKR and Clough. It'll just be over at that point.
If TKR can get that up and under working on Volkaitis, I think he gets in foul trouble early and we score big.
All right, so let's make a pick here. So we got Texas versus Purdue at Purdue minus 6.5.
Give me Purdue. I'm riding or dying. My denial is at all-time high. Purdue's winning it all, including this game.
Yeah.
Denial's worked out for me for 6 straight games, so here we go.
I like laying it with Purdue here as well. I think they've got the guards that can hit free throws. So if this is a 4 or 5 point game, this could easily end up around 10 with the free throws.
I thought about that.
Also, like I said, that the path to success is very easy. I think Texas is going out. And when Purdue was on their hot streak and we're like, hey, they might, like in the middle of the regular season, they might work their way back up to number 1. They were shooting a ton of threes and they were going in, but the ones that didn't get in, they were getting cleaned up. Painter went away from it. They lose a few games. Hey, we're back shooting 20 plus threes a game, and we're making a good clip, and we're rebounding most of them that do miss. So they've found the success formula again, and that stands a really good chance for this Purdue game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Jake, on that. Well, really both of you. But then we've got Iowa versus Nebraska, with Nebraska being minus 1.5. This is a tight one.
Give me Nebraska all day. Give me Nebraska all day. I'm sorry, Iowa fans. Gritty performance against Florida, even with Bennett Sturts going 0 for 9 from 3. Nebraska is going to run away with this one. I'm predicting a Nebraska double-digit win. I think Nebraska's got the advantage of being able to go 5 out. Every one of their guys can hoop. Every one of their guys can shoot threes. Every one of their guys can get to the basket. They're an effort team 100%. And I think that's just going to be way too much for this Iowa team. I don't know. I can't remember what they did during the regular season.
Split?
Oof.
Yep. Home team won both games.
Yeah, I'm still taking Nebraska all the way. The story around Nebraska to me is better too. So give me Nebraska.
Man, this one's got me all twisted up because I love what Nebraska's doing. I love what Hoiberg's doing. I love how they play. But McCollum he just took a very fast-paced Florida team and hit the emergency brake on them, and kept that game low. Starts as a great point guard to do that with because you have to be so wary of his 3-point shooting and just him with the ball and he shoots funky shots. The pace of this game in the first 4 minutes of each half will absolutely determine it. If it's fast, it's Nebraska's. If it's slow, it's Iowa. I think I'm going to go with Sam. We're going to lay the 1.5 here with Nebraska, but it's a very uncomfortable one because there's a reason this game's a 1.5, right? This is just Cullum's such a great coach. Hoiberg's so good. I just worry that the Nebraska we saw at the end of the year, Iowa that we saw at the end of the year that limped into this tournament that ended up a nice seed is, like that we start to see that again. And Nebraska, the way they're shooting, they're playing like they did at the beginning of the year, and it's incredible to watch. And then it's not all 3 ball. They just get that going. And if that fan base travels, that is going to be. I don't see why they wouldn't travel. There's nothing to do in Lincoln. Just however far it is to Houston, just go on down and just rock that arena, please, because that made the Vandy game so great. I mean, it's the same colors, same game plan, red and white versus gold and black. Like, just do it. Let's Put it on.
All right, and then we've got Arkansas versus Arizona. This point spread is interesting. Arizona -7.5.
The disrespect is real.
Yeah,
I kind of think so too.
I think we're overvaluing what we've seen on Arkansas here. They've not played another single digit seed yet, and like Arizona is a fantastic team all around, and I think they're very strong to where Arkansas is weak, which is inside and defense and rebounding. Bradley is a fantastic guard. Perry's is a fantastic guard. Not that they will shut Acuff down, but I think they will shut his relief options down, and that Acuff's going to have to carry him to beat Arizona. So I like laying the points there.
This is gonna sound like the dumbest thing any fan has ever said. I would, if given the hypothetical Purdue wins against Texas, which knock on wood, I think I want to see Arizona over Arkansas.
Yeah, I would too. So I was Purdue matchup better.
Yeah, I still think Arizona is one of the best teams in the country. Don't get me wrong, and don't be mad, Arizona fans, if you're watching this. I don't want anything. I don't want to come anywhere near Acuff, and I think Acuff is the reason why Arkansas can win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell me these teams play 10 times and Arizona's going to win 9 of them, but that one game that Acuff goes for 36, and it just so happens to be against Arizona. I think that's your one. I'm not counting out Arkansas here, but I am taking out in Arizona on the points.
This is an interesting debate that we got into it like when we were watching the Thursday games. I think Acuff is the best point guard Cal's ever coached at the college level. I don't think it's necessarily that close either.
Somebody said that recently too. Somebody on like ESPN or some shit like that said.
I was catching heat from everybody for that take where we were watching it. They were like, "Oh, don't you remember Derrick Rose and all that?" Yeah, I remember it. But have you watched Acuff play?
Acuff is different.
Have you?
Was that when my beer allergies were acting up, Jake?
Probably.
I did off.
Probably. But I was just like, good gosh, have you not watched this kid play all year? He is everything he does is fantastic. He's a much better shooter than either of those two were from deep.
Absolutely.
Just as strong. He's not as bouncy as Rose was, but I mean, who is? But I mean, he can still go up and dunk. He finishes tough. I've not seen anybody knock him off his line at all ever. The Tennessee game, we couldn't do anything with him, and that's a top tier defense. He goes through. He just runs through everybody, and he's thick. He's strong, and I think he is the best point guard Cal's ever coached. Whether his NBA career turns out better than either of those, who knows?
We've got Illinois versus Houston. Houston -3.5.
Toss a coin.
Yeah, this is.
I know.
Your tails. Elite offense, elite defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Illinois 141 points per 100 possessions versus VCU. But that's versus VCU.
Still, that's NBA level efficiency. That is like Denver Nugget with Jokic playing.
Mm-hmm.
That is just an unreal. No, they won't be anywhere near that against Houston. But do we trust Houston's threes to keep going in? They've been so hot here at the end of the year. That's like, I mean, they're shooting 42% from three, like in this last month and a half. I think I like Illinois here. I think I like Illinois plus the points. I think this game is close. I think it's tight. I think there's a good chance Illinois wins just because of the offensive pressure they can put from all 5 spots, plus to get a couple off the bench. And I think the Houston offense lets them down a little bit.
I love Illinois here, Jake. I'm with you.
Same.
I think I saw a fist pump from Brad. I don't know if there's much more to talk about. Illinois can give you punches and bunches. And I think they have just enough size to disrupt the interior on the defensive end. They're not a great defensive team, but they're not a bad one. And if Houston can't get the 3 ball to drop, I think Houston's in big trouble here. Give me Illinois.
Now we have St. John's versus Duke. Duke at -6.5.
That St. John's Kansas game was great, but there was a stretch from like, I don't know, the 10-minute mark of the first half to the 8-minute mark of the second half where nobody could find the inside of the rim. Layups, threes, anything. And it wasn't because the defense was necessarily great. There was turnovers. It was going chaos. You shoot like that against this Duke team, you're going to get roasted. The fear, if you're a St. John's backer, what you want to see is you don't want to see Foster back at all. Even Shire said it's an outside chance, which there was an outside chance that Nagumba was going to play in the ACC tournament, and we saw how that turned out. So I doubt Foster plays, but it's got to make you feel a little better if you're St. John's seeing that you're going against a freshman backcourt. You need that turnovers, you need that quick, because anytime this gets in the half court, you're roasted. Ejiofor can he can probably go punch for punch with Boozer, but then when Nagumba and Brown are in there, that's who's checking Ejiofor defense, not Boozer. Ejiofor is going to have his work cut out for him. The fact that he's going to have to work hard on both ends and Boozer's not, I think that shows up in the late game. I like laying the 6.5 here with Duke.
Yeah, I watched St. John miss every shot for 17 straight minutes once. So that's not going to work against Duke. Now, St. John's has also played a lot better here recently. I still think this Duke team has not played their best basketball in like 3 or 4 weeks, and I think they're due. They're not playing their best basketball, and they're still winning. I mean, that should scare everybody. Give me Duke.
All right. Yeah, I completely agree with you guys on that. Alabama versus Michigan. Michigan minus 10.5. I feel like this is a lot of points here. I still think Michigan will win, but
this line is banking on Alabama threes not going, and I think that's a fair assumption. I like taking Michigan here because I think the defense shows up. There's no way Alabama's going to rebound with this Michigan team. No way they're going to do anything. It's going to be Michigan-controlled pace unless you just get a just fantastic otherworldly game out of the Alabama guards, and I think it catches up to them a little bit here, and we're not going to see the same kind of threes go against Michigan that we saw with Texas Tech.
So 3 teams have beat this Michigan team. 2 of them did it by being better than Michigan at what Michigan's great at, and that's being physical underneath, just bully ball. Duke did it, and then in the Big Ten championship, Purdue did it. And everybody said that you have to make a shit ton of threes to beat this Michigan team. Well, Purdue made 4, and Duke didn't make that many, and they just out-physicaled Michigan. And when Michigan gets out-physicaled, I think they're gettable. Alabama cannot out-physical this Michigan team. It's not in their DNA. They don't have the rebounding. They don't have the like psychoticness to get underneath and bang with these boys. They're going to have to go completely nuclear from 3. And if they don't, they're going to get blown the hell out. If they shoot sub 40% from 3 and they're going to take 40 of them, they're toast.
Well, it won't be close. This to me has the biggest stench of a blowout of any of them.
I can see that as well, and I would love to see that happen. I don't like Michigan either. I mean, if we're being honest, but I mean, it's Alabama.
Yeah.
We have then Michigan State versus UConn. UConn minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like Michigan State here. I don't know where Michigan State gets offense from. It just keeps happening. They're shooting 42% from 3. Jeremy Fears is getting a dime on literally every possession. Which we talked about Braden Smith's this record. If Jeremy Fears sticks around Michigan State, doesn't go pro, he's going to break this record. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but I think it's going to happen. He is fantastic, and he's playing fantastic. And Tom Izzo's a fantastic coach. And Tom Izzo's playing with coaching with composure. And I like Michigan State here.
Yeah, I'm same boat. I don't understand where the 3 coming into the year. I was like, hey, Michigan State can't shoot the 3 ball. Well, they figured that out now. I mean, Cohen Carr hit 2 or 3 in the last game, and that's unreal. If that's going to happen, I don't know where you stop Michigan State because they are tough, they're physical, they're mean, they rebound like crazy, they play great defense, they're incredibly well coached, and the way UConn's playing right now, you're not going to backwards fumble into this. You're like winning this one. You're going to have to go out and get it, and I don't think you can have a performance like you had in either the first 2 games of this tournament to be anywhere near Michigan State. So I like Michigan State on the money line, but for the purpose of this, we'll take it with the points.
Yeah, I love that. I love that pick. Then we have Tennessee versus Iowa State. Iowa State at minus 4.5.
I'm gonna keep my little bit short on here, and I'm gonna let you 2 take it because I know you guys got more to say about Tennessee and Iowa State than I do. I like this Iowa State team a lot. I've liked them all year. Them not having Jefferson is a wide open wound that needs to be exploited, and Tennessee might be the team that's able to do it. That's all I gotta say.
Just you saying that has like made my stomach hurt a little bit. Like It just got me excited. It just gave me butterflies, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I have Iowa State in my Final Four. When it comes to my bracket, obviously this is a game that Iowa State should win, but I will give that. I'll throw that away, wipe my ass with it for a Tennessee win here. And I think it's definitely possible with Jefferson being out. If we're hopeful, maybe he'll play, maybe won't. It doesn't sound very positive.
It was a pretty brutal. It was a pretty
Results
brutal
came back
fall,
negative, but
there too.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, our guy with the high ankle sprain is a little farther in the recovery path. if we can just get him to hit layups, that would change everything. And I think that's where this game
He's getting
ends.
5 more days of rest.
Yeah. This game depends on Nate Emmett to me. If he is going to be a productive offensive player, we win this game. If he is not, it's going to take a Herculean effort out of
Boswell's
our
have to step
playing
up big
great,
time again.
because being able to match him on the perimeter and be able to switch and all that, we're on everybody, that really hurts. That helps us guard the 3 ball. And if the 3 ball is not going, this Iowa State team can struggle a bit. I find it interesting to look at like historical stuff. Like Iowa State is 1-6 all time ever in the Sweet 16, but Tennessee is 5-13 against higher seeds. So one of those things is going to be flipped on its head a little bit. Screw it. Let's take Tennessee with the points. Let's say we get a close game, but I don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. I think there's a good chance that Boswell goes back to shooting 0 for the world from 3 ball. And instead of hitting the 4 threes he hit against Virginia, that we needed every one of them to win that game.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's do a quick ride or die update. Current bankrolls.
I've got Iowa State. I'm in a pickle here with my rooting interest. I started with $20. I'm at $29.55. You know, roll that forward. So I've got about $30 riding on Iowa State against my team. That just hurts because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm with Purdue still. Again, full denial. Purdue's winning the national title this year, regardless of what the entire world thinks. And I'm at 26-25. So, yeah, I'm sticking with Purdue.
So I've got Illinois, and so I'm currently at $23.29.
I think
I accidentally
Sam's got to be the most
money
comfortable in
line.
this right now. I think he's got the best matchup for him and all that. So he may win this and get all of like $30 out of it. But that is what it is.
All right, and a quick shout out to we got our round 1 winner was B2B, which is at Luke Volku. And then we have a round 2 winner, B Haggerty 13. And hey, buddy, we need you to DM us because we need to know what your prize is. So
just pick your favorite platform and send us a message.
Send us a message so we can get that. We can get your discount code to you properly. And it looks like Coach is one of those discount codes as well, but he's got to play to win. So I guess we got to play to win as well.
All right, those are Sweet 16 takes. At this point in your bracket is either looking great or looking terrible. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube. We'll be breaking down everything that happens in the Sweet 16 and beyond. It's going to be some teams getting exposed. If you're in the bracket challenges, keep an eye out. Shoot us a DM or change your bracket name to something where I can find you. Please, because that would make my life easier. We'll have more clips and picks and reactions all week. So follow along. Catch y'all next blowout.
Take care, y'all.